Retired from the game yesterday. I know you're very fond of him. We spoke in our sort of meeting, our pre-show meeting earlier on, but you got fond memories. He's a good person, isn't he?
Well, he did so well for me. You know, I appreciated everything he did. He's very professional with his work on the training field and around the training ground. And I couldn't say the same before I was a manager. You know, he was not the best professional. He obviously didn't get on with the previous manager, and he let him know about it. You know, AVB left him out. He froze him out of everything, and it was an easy decision really for me to bring him back to the fold. But I said to Addy, look, I'm going to bring you back in, but I need you to be on top of your game. You need to train harder than everyone else, and you just be on time. You need to stick to the plan, and you will play for me. Andy was a freak physically. I mean, he didn't even have to train some weeks, you know, and he was just phenomenal.
Everyone get on with him?
Everyone got on with him.
Yeah.
Everyone. Yeah, I think he got the respect from the dressing room because he was a character. You know, these players are not robots. They're not all the same. You know, this guy is different, and I think the boys and everyone around the training ground really loved him.
Okay. You tried to take him, or not tried to take him, but you questioned whether or not he could come to Villa with you.
Yeah, we lost Christian Benteke. You know, I remember Brendan Rodgers ringing me and said, look, we're going to buy out, take the clause from Christian Benteke. And I said, look, well, don't do it. He's rubbish. And I didn't mean it. I meant...
You wanted to keep him?
Please don't let him go, right, because he's our chance to score goals. He's done so well for me, Christian.
Did you say he's rubbish?
No, not so many words. I was more descriptive. I just said to Brendan, mate, he's not for you, you know, not for Liverpool. I was trying my best to dissuade him from taking him because I don't want him to take the buyout clause because I wanted to keep him. He was brilliant for me.
What was his buyout clause?
68 million.
Wow.
But they eventually did, and it left us in serious problems. So then I'll give a call to Adebayor, stupidly really, because as if they were going to sign him anyway. They let me go through the process, the hierarchy there at Villa. I got him to the training ground. He come up in the Viano with his entourage, got out. I invited him into my office. I asked him if he wanted to go around the training ground, have a look at the pitches and stuff like that, and he just said no. He said, look, Tim, I love you. I appreciate you offering me the opportunity to come to this big club, but he said, I just don't think it's going to be the right outcome. So
he came all the way to Villa C just to say no?
He just said, out of respect, I'm going to come up and see you. He said, but I'm not going to join the club because I believe that it's not going to be a fantastic outcome. And he was right. I lasted 10 games.
Just quick. I want to take calls ever so quickly. I spoke to you in the break there about some great players you've ever played with or managed. You mentioned Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, top draw.
Just a top pro, was he?
When you talk about influences on players, not that Harry needed an influence, Harry Kane, the younger boys, Ryan Mason, for instance, coming through at Tottenham, Ben Taleb, all them boys, but he was just a magnificent example of how you work on your trade and the attitude, what you carry and how you carry yourself off of the field. He was just an absolute dream to manage and one of the fittest, most professional players I've ever worked with.
Are you surprised that when he went to Man United, more sides didn't go in for him?
Absolutely, especially Tottenham. I mean, he'd already been there. You know, it was an opportunity to stay in London. Just shows you the boy is no interest in London or shops or Selfridges or Harrods, like I mentioned before. Yeah. All he's interested in is, can I win at the club I'm going to go to? And he decided he would go to Man United over anyone else.
Yeah. We've got so many more stories like that coming, but I did offer you, the listener, the chance to phone up and have your say and asked him a question. 03717223334 is the number that Mark, the Spurs fan, has dialed. Hello, Mark.
Hello, hi, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, Mark.
Tim, a lot of Spurs fans do love you and your approach, which I'm not trying to belittle it, but your, if I may say, basic approach and honest approach and the way football should be played. Bill Shankly said years ago, it's a very simple game. And, you know, the way Tottenham played under your stewardship was very good. Also, we will always be indebted to you for bringing in Harry Kane. So that will be, if nothing else, your legacy. So we thank you for that, Tim. Coming bang up to date with what Conte said, again, I'm sure thousands of Spurs fans agree 100% with what Conte said. However, as an employee, you know, you can't really say that. So obviously he's going to fall on his sword and he's going to go. But when you were manager, Tim, did you find it was the same approach by the players? Is it all down to the players? How did you try to make the mental side of the game fit? What comes to saying, has it changed? Why hasn't it changed? And more to the point, how can it change? Can you put your finger on it as to how it can change? What is the underlying problem at Tottenham that has gone on for 20 years?
Okay, I mean, it's a good question, but we're off air at 7, so I don't know if you can answer that in the 90 minutes we got left. But can it be changed?
It can be changed, but someone needs the time to be able to do it. I mean, it'd be interesting to know if Mark was happy with Pochettino's reign at Tottenham, because he had the time. And it was a positive, and it's no coincidence, given the amount of time, the philosophy can be changed. Yes, they didn't win anything, but they went to the Champions League final, a couple of other finals. So, they got close. You cannot change. Antonio's talking about the mentality shift and how it needs to change at the football club. But how was he going to do that in 2 years? It was impossible. Like I said, he only spends 2 years at a club. Mark's absolutely right. You cannot talk like that as an employee. You want to. More often than not, all managers want to, but you can't do it. You have to bite your lip. Some can, some can't. I couldn't at times, wanted to wear my heart on the sleeve. We go back to the first point he makes, being basic and seeing it very simple. Listen, the game's exactly the same as it was way back in the day. Yeah. The terminology has changed. You're in there talking about half spaces, low blocks, mid blocks. Nonsense. It's all about counter-attacking, pressing. I mean, all this rubbish about, press from the front, this team does this. No one tackled me more than Ian Rush. He was a centre forward, I was a midfield player, and that is pushing from the front. The game is exactly the same. The terminology and the brainwashing, what is coming in from these modern managers, is just incredible at the moment.
Okay, that's fantastic to hear as well. I agree with you.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.